So far, the crew has cleared every hurdle naysayers have placed in their way. Columbus would be home to one of the 10 inaugural teams. Columbus has outperformed much larger cities. The true success indicator has been from the fans. Well, it's
Hello and welcome to the club. I'm your host Mars, and this is the Upper 90 Club, roundtable podcast for 5 friends and 1 crew legend. Discuss the Columbus Crew. I'm really excited tonight, guys. Last week when we were signing off, we weren't sure what we were going to do on this off week, but wonderful things have materialized. I want to welcome to the club this week the original number 8, the most tenured crew player of all time, winner of 2008 MLS Cup, 2004, 2008, 2009 Supporters Shield, U.S. Open Cup winner, Duncan Oughton. Welcome to the club,
Chip
Duncan.
on the hat!
Whoa.
Yeah.
Give me some of his bourbon. No, I appreciate it, guys. Yeah, don't forget that Open Cup, man. That was the one. That was the first brass,
right?
First brass. It was the Lamar Hunt Open Cup, and Lamar was there, still with us. The man that created this animal that grows and grows and grows. So I love that one. The ring we got was way less than average, but winning that cup was awesome.
Open for interpretation on the ring.
Yeah.
Well, so glad to have you. It sounds like you and Mort have crossed paths on the soccer circuit there in Westerville. So glad to have you join the club this week. Also with me every week, Ben, Mort, Trey, and Haas. Say hey, guys.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
Just like that, Haas is gone.
So Duncan, welcome to the club. Indeed, Haas is the.
He was unimpressed with your guest.
He's like, that ring sucks. I'm out. Click. He's a big ring guy.
You told me we're having a great guest this week. This is terrible.
Awesome.
I was promised Tony Chani. Click.
All right. So while we wait for Haas to rejoin, we're going to talk about some of the front office shakeups this week. We're going to get a Crew 2 update. If we have time, we'll talk U.S. men's national team.
Yeah, you know.
And then we're going to do predictions for the New York City game at the big baseball stadium.
Are they? Where are they even playing now?
They're playing at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah. Okay,
they're
back
this time.
Okay, so not Mets.
We deliberated on this a few weeks ago. It's Yankee Stadium this week. Anyway. Yeah, so we'll get to that a little bit later. But first, Duncan, want to just kind of get an update from you, man. What are you up to these days?
I'm back in the bus.
Yeah.
That's right. We moved back a few years ago now. I was living in D.C. for a little while. But with 3 young daughters, we always planned to come back to Columbus. I met my wife here. We love it here. So many great people here, and I think COVID probably accelerated that process. I was living in Washington, D.C. in Georgetown, and just kind of more space, more friends. We had an office in M Street, which was amazing, don't get me wrong, but we just decided it was time for the kids to come back this way, and we couldn't be happier where we're at in Westerville. It's a great little spot, and back in the black and gold territory, my friend.
Dude, welcome back. I'm so pumped you're back.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And I didn't know you were a daughter man. We got a couple daughter men on here. I've got 4. Ben's got 3.
You guys must have been volleyed in the nuts as much as I was when I was playing. I think
I've had 2 vasectomies.
It's slightly malfunctioning,
Yeah, it's all X's.
It's all a hot mix-up.
All X's. No, I couldn't. Daughters are awesome. They love their soccer too, which is good. Obviously no pressure from dad. It's all good.
I played professionally. You can do whatever, but I was a professional. But you can do whatever. I love you, but I was a professional.
No, my oldest actually tells people that sometimes. She's like, "Wow, my dad played soccer, and I'm kind of embarrassed in the background. Like they're looking over at me like, no, you didn't, dude. Look at you now. you walk with a limp. You've got a donut gut, and
and you're drunk right now.
It's not possible.
Well,
I wish.
Well,
I wish.
I got into Crew soccer. We lived kind of by historic Crew Stadium. We started going to games in like 06, 07.
Can we just call it Crew Stadium, please, Mars?
That's what that. Yeah, dude.
If you call it
so long
Crew
ago,
Stadium, it's like I'm a dinosaur, bro.
Yeah, I know. It's so long since we played.
Okay, no. I'll call it Crew Stadium. That's what I always called it, Crew Stadium. I always called it Crew Stadium, but we'll refer to you as historic Duncan Oughton.
That's a trade-off.
Damn it.
But so we live by Crew Stadium. We used to go to Ruby's before the games and race across the train tracks.
Old Scott at Ruby's.
Yeah. I have him. He put himself in the phone as an asshole Scotty, and so I actually don't know his last name or anything like that, but still in my contacts.
Scott Fotherington.
Asshole Scotty,
yeah, great dude, man.
Yeah.
Look, I used to go up there with the HSH sometimes.
Yep.
Yep, and their little bar they had, the Hooligans.
Yeah.
Guest bartended there a few times. Yep.
Oh, nice.
Good guys.
Yeah.
Heavy pours.
So, and then who else from the crew do you keep in touch with all the guys and are any of them still kind of like?
Frank's is my boy. He lives around. Me and Frankie, we were always close. We were roommates on numerous road trips, and he helped me out through some hard times, vice versa. So great dude. I love that guy like a brother.
Awesome.
Dante Washington is in town and works for the club, and I talk to Dante a lot. Bump into Tommy Prestis every now and again, and he kind of, when I got drafted, he got traded at the same time, so we were in the old it was like an extended stay near Easton, and Easton was not what it was now. We were in this random building, and it was so he's a great man, big Tom Prestis. Old Mike Clark, we were roommates initially when I first got to the team because Frankie wasn't there and a lot of the guys weren't, and he was the captain at the time. Speak to Brian McBride every now and again. A lot of the guys, like Ross Pauly, who I thought was one of the best players the Crew's ever had. Simon Elliott, I'm very close with, a New Zealander. Yeah. So, we a lot of the guys, bump into, speak to. When we get together, it's kind of like you haven't really been apart. A lot of the guys. Guillermo, I stay in touch with. I run into him every now and again, and he's good. Peeper Higuain coaching down in Miami too.
Yeah.
I've spoke to him a few times. Yeah, I didn't play with him. I coached him, but
man,
coached him. Yeah.
Right. So you were back. So you had a couple. You mentioned Toronto, and the Crew. You did some coaching as well, right?
So post playing, my last season playing was 2010. I moved into the front office. That offered me a position there, which the title got changed. I went over to England for the off season to hang out with my buddy Ryan Nelson, watch some Premier League and watch some games. And I went down to Portsmouth because Ian Wone, who is now assistant coach at Everton, was coaching down at Portsmouth. And I just went to watch the coaching and talk to some people about, hey, I've had some interest from USL. What do you think I should do? I'm kind of done. My knee is in 12 pieces right now. And, just to get some advice. And the Crew before I'd left, had kind of offered me this role. So when I came back, I was like, yep, great, let's go. Let's do it. And the role changed from assistant to the general manager to assistant technical director and helping like the community outreach and helping the ticket sales and doing the TV, like the color commentary.
That's what I remember. You were just
I remember hearing you on the call, Duncan, and
same.
It was great. It was great.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun, and I learned a ton, like jumping around the office and all the different facets of everything from the technical director side, down to ticket sales, helping them with calls down to, I used to go down and hang out with the ground pound, the ground crew staff. They were awesome down there, and talk to them about OBATs, especially when I went to the coaching side and be like, hey guys, you got to go down to OBATs and spend a little bit of love and make our practice fields better. And they were cool. They'd be like, sweet, man, we'll see you tomorrow. They'd be down there before we rolled up at 6, like laying some sand or, giving it a mow, watering it down. So for me, it's all about relationships. It's about, within the club, everyone should function together, no matter if you're the guy cleaning the toilets or the president, the general manager. You got to be a team, right? The team off the field helps the team on the field. So that's what I kind of took into the front office from where I was. And then soon after I got there, Bobby came to me, who was coach at the time, Bobby Vazija, who I see sometimes. I love old Bobby. And he said,
is he still in Columbus area?
He is, yeah. And he said, he said, man, what are you doing? I need you on the field. Come down. So I went to the general manager at the time and said, hey, can I go coach? Bobby wants me down here. I wanted to do it myself. I've always been someone that, hey, Bobby, I want to go tell him, and he was like, well, but you've got all these other jobs. And I said, yeah, I know. I want to go coach. He wants me down. And he's like, well, you can do that, but you got to do all your other jobs. So I was like, well, screw it then. I'm already doing 12 things. Sure. Like, what's one more, Let's make it a baker's dozen. So I rocked down to the field in the mornings, trained when the guys went out of town. I'd coach the guys on a Sunday or Saturday morning, the guys that didn't travel. And then I'd drive up to Cleveland to the studio to do the game with Dwight. And then I'd drive back at 1 a.m. after the game. Yeah, it was fun, man.
Yeah.
Is this when was it McCullers that was the GM at the time?
Yeah, he was. He was. I mean, the club was in a far different place at that point in time. Right. It wasn't necessarily Mark's fault, it was just a different beast. And I learned a ton, and some of it wasn't cool, and I feel like I got bent over a bit. But for me, it was a great experience of learning the game and learning how the club runs and how everything goes, and not a club that's smooth as silk and easy to run, like a kind of hey, we've got to how can we?
You don't really know
move this forward.
As a fan, you don't really see the messy stuff going on in the background that we see, like at our work, right? Where it's like, how could someone do this stupid thing? Like it's a business, right? And like, so you're working with people who are imperfect people, and then it all manifests in the presentation of a game every week, right? So
that's what it's all about for the fan, right? And
right.
And you don't know that 12 of the players in Mexico are crapping their pants when they're playing and wearing diapers, and
I knew just for example, right? Like just hypothetically, right?
Yeah. Okay, we're all going.
Speaking of, did you ever go to Mexico, and what did you not eat?
I went to Mexico a number of times. We played a number of games down there. I think it was my second season. We did a preseason in the mountains of Guadalajara. There's a place that a lot of U.S. teams used to go and things, and there was absolutely nothing there. Our fun was hiding in a dark hallway, scaring people on their way back from dinner. Like that is literally fun, right? It was amazingly fun.
Yeah.
And we bought. I spoke to the team manager at the time, Tucker Walther, who's a true crew legend. He is a legend and a half. This guy was the equipment manager, the team manager. He did everything. He was ridiculous. And he said we spent, I forget the amount on water, because everything was bottled water, washed. Yeah. I think they were even boiling bottled water instead of boiling regular water. I mean, boiled water's clean, right? But they were boiling bottled water for us because they didn't want anyone to get sick, and no one got sick. And so I think even back then, that was 2002 probably. I think it's been a well-known thing, because I have caught the Mexican revenge when I was in college. My buddy and I went down to Tijuana one afternoon and walked around, because I'd never been to Mexico. Yeah, so I was like, dude, I want to go to Mexico. He's like, sweet, let's go. So we went down. We were so careful. We did everything right. You know what we did? We drank ice in our Coke.
Yeah.
And when I got home, it was like idiot, right? Here I am, New Zealand idiot.
The trick is you got to boil the ice.
Exactly.
That's how you.
Coming from one of those countries with the purest water, probably just like myself, and then you just take it for granted.
You take it for granted. Ice, right? You don't think about it. It's like it's hot. I want a cold Coke. I'm going to put ice, and then at 2 a.m, I'm like, oh God, just jump out of bed. Oh God, run to the bathroom. The door's locked. He's in there. He's caught it as well.
Just crying.
Man, I crawled down the stairs.
I thought it was Herc. I thought it was Herc and on his podcast said it was almost a rite of passage for MLS player to go to Mexico and get sick.
Yeah, but the stakes of this game that the Crew just played down there, it's just like you would think. I mean, they weren't there for more than 36 hours, and we don't need to relitigate this, but like the question I asked last week was like,
it's all good.
What is the there must be some explanation beyond just like, we all got sick. Like, how many meals could they have eaten where we could not get to the bottom of how the entire team got sick?
Yeah.
If you now
and
can remember 22 years ago what got you sick while you were in Mexico, like how do we not know?
No, but look, Dr.
Tijuana got a Tijuana, you know what I mean?
Dr. Edwards, right? Pete Edwards, great guy. He's with the team. He knows the drill. They've been down to Mexico twice already in this same competition.
Yeah.
No one's sick. They know what they're doing. They're washing the lettuce with bottled water. They're washing everything with bottled water. They're doing it the right way. So
taking showers.
Yeah. Look, I'm not going to say foul play. I'm not going to say no. You brush your teeth with bottled water. Like it's stupid.
Yeah.
Like
for sure.
Wait, do you have to shower when you're down there? I didn't realize that. My bad. Maybe that's how I got sick. No. Yeah. So
took a bath. He's a bath man.
Look, you go down there and you play a game, and I don't care what stadium you're in, where you're at, who you're playing. You're 1-0 down before you start. It's just the environment, the atmosphere. I mean, we played a game at Santos, and the coach is pulling my hair when I'm trying to take a throw-in when I had long hair, and I'm trying to fight their coach, and it's just nuts.
Yeah, that checks out.
So you start 1-0 down. So it was already a hard enough game without everyone getting sick. Was it coincidence? Was it not? I'm not going to speculate on that. It just really sucks that it was this particular game.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It sucks. And I feel bad for the guys. I talked to Diego Rossi 2 days ago, and he'd been away with his family, and he said, I was with my family after because they got a bit of time off, which they needed. They deserved.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a long season to this point.
Oh, yeah. They played a whole season already, man.
Exactly.
Same with Miami.
And look, he said, I still feel funny, messed up. He's like, I was with my family, and it was really hard I was trying to enjoy myself and enjoy being with my family, and it sucks, So the week off, I know it was a week off, but it wasn't necessarily a week off for everyone. I think there was still some after effects for some of the guys.
No doubt.
It was just stomach stuff, like just stomach stuff, right?
It sounded that way, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, when there's five stalls and there's 5 stalls being used and 5 guys knocking on the door and 2 guys in trash cans, I'd say it's stomach stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
College, man.
And unverified reports that we may or may not find out that queso was involved. Dude. And Precourt's pretty close to the Mexican border down there.
He loves queso.
I'm not trying to make news here, but I'm just saying, anything is possible.
We're not putting words in your mouth.
We were throwing a lot of shade. We were throwing a lot of shade before the game. Remember, there was a lot of trophy cases and things like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Karma, baby.
Anyway, so
I'm going to ask you a question now. I know you're meant to ask me questions, but. So you're telling me I can eat a little bit of queso and lose 20 pounds in a week? Bro, send me that queso. This is awesome.
As long as you're not the bloated son of an oil baron. Okay, so
New Zealand oil.
I think this is a good chance to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the news from this week and other local Westervillians and their comings and goings in Columbus. But let's do that when we come back. And I think we're going to also have historic Duncan Oughton with us when we come back. So we'll be right trapped.
Mars, that's harsh.
This episode of the Upper 90 Club is brought to you, as always, by Supporter Supply Company. Hi, friends, this is your good pal Morgan Hughes, here to talk to you about a serious issue facing 96% of all crew supporters in Columbus. Why, not enough free shipping, of course. For a limited time now, through the eventual heat death of the universe, Upper 90 Club listeners can use the promo code Upper90Boys. That's boys with a Z on the end of it, at checkout for free delivery on absolutely any order over $10. But Morgan, what if I order $10 worth of stickers, or those goddamned buttons, or some other combination of small items that make you want to kill yourself? Will the free shipping still apply then, even as you curse our family, while you package up our little tiny annoying ass order for us? Of course it will. That's just how much we here at Supporter Supply value our friends at the Upper 90 Club. So head on over to supportersupply.co and use the promo code Upper90Boys. That's boys with a Z at checkout for free shipping on all your orders over $10. And don't forget to tell them that your friends at the Upper 90 Club sent ya.
All right, we're back. So still with us, Duncan Oughton, historic crew player. Sorry, that was.
You can bleep this out. You're
bleep. or bleep.
Thanks
historic.
for coming on.
Just for good measure, bleep historic. Hawes was gone. I have to make fun of someone, and for some reason, I've chosen my idol.
As we established in the break, Hawes had a bead situation, and it wasn't beads; it was pool balls. So he's back.
There's a lot of spears in his screen. We don't know what's going on over there. The new computer, it's on the fritz. Okay, so
I'll tell you what, it's a hell of a microphone, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, yeah.
It's smooth as honey. So we do want to talk about the shakeups. You know, when we did our bold predictions for the season, there was a lot of talk about who was staying, who was going. I don't think anyone mentioned Tim Bezbatchenko.
You did?
I did.
You did?
Called it. Yeah, Ben was freaking out about Schulte or Aiden.
I've got a lot of anxiety.
I said my biggest fear is losing Bez.
Okay. Oh, well, tip of the hat to you.
Yep.
Well,
True that. Tip of the hat.
That just
it's
tip
catchy,
of the hat
isn't
from
it?
Duncan Oughton. Is that your accent or?
That's his Ben. That's what,
Oh, he was doing a Ben accent.
He was doing a
right.
Westervillian.
Just trying to mesh in, you know, being
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, this was not really on my radar, and when I feel like anytime we talk about how well the crew is doing, Tim gets a tip of the hat, and I feel like we kind of took him for granted. He is a Columbus, Westerville native. Kind of felt like he was the prodigal son coming home from Toronto. We've been so successful since he came back in 2018-19. I don't know. Just wanted to talk about it with you guys. Obviously we had Issa promoted into that role, and he's been among the names mentioned for the most influential front office in the league, et cetera, with Tim and company. But just wanted to open it up. What do you guys think?
This is probably the worst thing that could happen, and I don't mean in a bad way towards Bezbatchenko. Like, it's wonderful for him. He brought us 2 championships. He brought us Nancy. He brought us so many things that are phenomenal as a crew fan. But I honestly think we could have survived Aiden leaving. We could have survived maybe even Nancy leaving if we still had Bezbatchenko.
Survive this too.
I think we can. This was my biggest fear.
This
was my biggest fear.
Well, it's
shutting down the podcast. But
what he did in Toronto and what he's done here in Columbus, he has a track record that is second to none. And I'm happy he's moving on. I'm happy he's moving forward to the EPL. He's going to do big things, and that's fantastic.
Bournemouth?
Like, there's no hate.
I don't know. It's
absolutely no hate.
Reason, to your point, Trey, though, like the reason why Nancy is important today is because of the magnet board, right? Like you see him moving the magnets around, the tactics, right? Like these are impacts today. Tim leaving today it's just we don't really know what the impact is going to be, but it's going to take a while to kind of see how things change strategically from an organizational standpoint.
I think the better question, because I am not, we talked about the ins and out earlier, and Duncan, this might be a better question for you.
Yeah,
it's
man.
like how important is the GM and what do they do and what are the pieces they're moving around, right? That impacts the club. Like,
what do they do?
I've got people skills.
That is a great question. No, so look for me,
accept compliments. Number one.
Yeah, exactly. 100% they do. They're the head of the ship. When the compliments are coming, they take them all. When stuff's going bad, they blame everyone else below them. Like, Mars, you're good at that, bro. On this podcast.
Yeah, Mars is definitely the GM.
Yes. Yeah, we got to burn it.
So
still kind of a compliment.
Look, my thoughts are on the whole situation. Like if you look at an organization, and it's every organization, there's the president, GM, obviously. Above that's the ownership, which is key to most organizations because they're the ones filtering down the money. Some organizations use every possible dollar and some, which the crew is doing currently, which is awesome. It's great for the city. It's great for the team. It's amazing. It's a lot easier to work with that than you could throw out a number of teams, Houston Dynamo, Colorado Rapids, etc., where they don't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a position where I don't care who you are as the GM. You could be the best in the world, but it doesn't matter. You can have Pep Guardiola coaching that team, and they're probably going to be well organized on the field and stuff, but they're probably not going to have the pieces that you need. So the ownership is the key piece of every team. Because how much in MLS, in a salary cap driven league, how much money's coming down? Bez has done a fantastic job of, the go between ownership and the team, seeing what the team needs, going to ownership and saying, we need this money for this piece because it's going to work. Then, below Bez, you have the recruitment team. And then you have and the coach, right?
Where we've been picked up a little bit too, right?
So the recruitment team, Neil McGuinness just went to LAFC. That's a big, to me, that's a huge loss too because I deal with all these guys around the league. He's good. He's real good. Cucho Hernandez, Diego Rossi, like the names. Everyone in Columbus was so pissed when Zelarayan left, but Diego fits what Wilfred wants to do better.
Yeah, that's what we said.
You know what I mean? Because it's both sides of the ball. It's a fast-paced game. He
doesn't play with the 10.
We do this, and you don't have the luxury player. Everyone works and everyone plays. So when you have the ownership that's right and a good GM/president, whatever you want to call them, that can go up and come back down with stuff, and then you have that team below. So now Tim's gone, and deservedly so for him. Congratulations.
Sure.
You have to do what you got to do. And he's overseeing a group, the Black Knight group, that owns a hockey team in Vegas. They own a team in New Zealand that's just starting up, which will be their flagship team, obviously, because it's in the greatest country in the world, no doubt.
Got it.
They have a little team in England called Bournemouth or something that's
also
done pretty well.
Hibernian and Nantes. As well.
And Nantes in France, yep.
Nantes
Look, it's a whole thing, with that club. So it's great. It's going to be interesting for him because it's very different to MLS. So he's learning a whole new skill set. I always thought, and this is just me personally, that Tim would be in Columbus till Don Garber left. And he would go back to the league and be the commissioner of the league. That was my thought. He's a Columbus guy. He'd be here, and it could happen. And he's going to learn a lot about world football now, and it's going to be really hard because it's so different to MLS.
And he didn't write the book.
Every league around the world is it's different, but that's great. He's taking that step. I love that he's expanding himself. He's testing himself like a player wants to do. When a player wants to go, just say one of the players on the crew wants to leave and go overseas and play. They can't just say, hey, I'm leaving crew and go. They have to be like, please sell me for less than 10 million. You know, like he gets to roll and do it, and I'm happy for him and proud of him that he has. But the Crew is in a spot now because Issa has been sitting next to Tim for how many years at the Crew, and then Toronto before it. It's Tim 2.0 with a slightly different style. He'll have his own things. The transition period for the club is way less. If you go outside of the club and bring someone in to do that role, the transition period takes longer. It's how does everyone fit below that? Issa knows everyone below and above. He sat next to Tim when he's asked for stuff from above. He's been in the conversation when he's gone down, we'll just say below to the guys, you know. So that piece in the cog, the club's done a great job of molding someone into that position, you know. And if any club in MLS, it's always if you're moving upwards in positions, any club can take you. So Issa could have gone to any club.
Sure.
If that offered him that
he
position,
he was wanted by clubs, right?
If you're offered that position, you can go. But whether he's been offered it or not, he's here now, which is great when this situation happens for Tim. Because you've got a guy who can transition in, and it takes away that transition period.
Is that a good sign? For me, that's a good sign. The culture of how things are done in this club is right now. A lot of things have been done right. Because people will move on. You have to accept that we're not the biggest. We're not the biggest. We're not the biggest. Club in the hierarchy.
What I was going to say about Tim was just that in MLS, you can't really advance beyond the GM position. He's taken a team that was nearly relocated, right, and done. Reached the top of the mountain, pun acknowledged, to. Bucket of ice short of winning the whole continental final, right? What?
Couple of stalls
for him in his position. What?
Adult diapers.
He kind of did it, right? And so,
of course,
you can keep playing the hits, but it's probably a really good move for him and a good opportunity for his lieutenants to kind of move into the bigger roles.
Yeah, no one at a club that's being successful ever wants to see change. No fan ever wants to see change.
Sure.
Whether it's for the better or not, they just don't want any change because it rocks a boat and you're winning and things are going great. Why would you want to rock the boat? But it's, I look at what's happened in the last month now, and Issa going into Tim's role, he's been next to Tim. Let's hope that nullifies the transition period and it's relatively smooth and things are great for the club. I'm a little more worried about the recruitment role with Neil leaving to LAFC, because who's out there bringing Cucho and Diego and finding that? When Tim comes down from ownership and says, we've got X amount of dollars, and then he comes down and says, what can you get for that X amount of dollars? And they go find that guy, or they come back and say, look, we can get this guy for that X amount, but if you spend X amount more, we can get this guy, and we will kill it with this guy. And then Tim goes back and talks to the ownership and says, look, we need to do this. So Tim 100% deserves to move where he's moved, or make a move upwards, a learning move. It's a great move for him. He needed to do it. It sucks for the Crew. It sucks.
Yeah.
But that's
such as life, right?
We want to see people succeed here. That means something is going right with the club. It's just like with the players.
More than 100%.
I expect sooner or later, we're going to hopefully see Aiden Morris go overseas and have success or something like that. For example.
But if you've signed a new deal in MLS these days, it's really hard to move unless someone's going to overpay.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I work in the agent world now. It's hard unless someone's going to overpay. But it's not in office roles. If you've got an upward move to another club within the same league, you can move. You're allowed to move. The clubs can't stand in your way. So, if you're going from an assistant GM to a GM position in another club, they can't stop you. If you're going from a head of recruitment to a technical director at another club, they can't stop you. part of the league, and it's great upward movement. It's different for players, so it does make it. Yeah, it would be great if some of these guys moved, or it would be better if they stayed and the team kicks ass. But
yeah, exactly.
It's a lot harder for the players to move because the club has to say, we want X amount of dollars.
That brings up a different question. Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
I was just going to say, do you think the timing of him leaving has anything to do with losing the Champions Cup? Or
no, this was.
I have to assume it was already.
That. Yeah, there's no way. It's like the day after the Champions Cup, they're like, "Do you want to sign?" He's like, "Sure, let's go." And it's announced the next day. Like, wait, hold on, let me my pants and then sign the contract.
Well, I just wondered if had they won and gone on to the Club World Cup, had that been something that might have enticed him to stick around a little longer.
Yeah. I did think about that.
But he's
I know what he's saying.
Yeah.
But the deal would have been signed. The announcement would be after, I would imagine.
Sure.
You know, he would have said. He would have said, for the benefit of the club, do not announce this till after this day. Sure, they would have agreed, and it would have been. I'm speculating. Of course, I don't know. I wasn't in the room. I don't know.
It makes sense. The timing was so
how
quick.
Deals. Generally that's how deals work, and and look, can anyone blame him for having a new challenge and doing something great? I can't. Nope. I'm like, congratulations. I texted him and said, congratulations to him. That's awesome.
Yeah
that's great.
Yeah,
but that all said, you brought up a good point, Matt, with the going to the Club World Cup, because I pretty much said people are always worried about. We talked about movement, and Nancy is a in-demand coach, and I said if we win and go to this Club World Cup, I think he's sticking around for at least that. What are your thoughts on Nancy? Because I know there's already interest from France. There's interest from clubs to bring him because he's been, over the last year or so, or maybe 2 years now, he's considered the best coach in the MLS, right? How much of a risk do you think we are in losing him?
So you're asking me or Matt?
Yeah, I am asking you, Duncan.
You should ask Matt. He's got way better opinions than I do. Honestly, I'm just talking.
Well, we can rely on your internet connection, so go ahead.
I have been searching Twitter all day for the answer to this specific question. So
Twitter all day. Yeah, the best answers to your questions are on Twitter. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. No,
it's a tricky one.
Randomly, I got asked by an English club about him, and that was in December. No, I tell a lie. It would have been late January or early February, like what I knew and stuff like that. So it was interesting, and it wasn't a Premier League club, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But it was interesting to me at the time. I was like, yeah, okay, there's going to be a lot of people, if this specific club is asking, there's going to be a lot of people asking questions. Before Tim has announced this thing, didn't in the last 3 months he signed a new deal?
Yeah. But I thought that was just to increase his selling. That was just like a business move. It's like, we got him for this, and so now if you want him, you have to spend.
Nancy. We're talking about Nancy.
Correct. It was all business.
But correct, right? It's business. It's smart business. So if you want him, he's got a contract for 3-4 more years. They've locked him in.
Unless you're going to overpay.
They're not. The thing is, what are they going to do if a club that he wants to go to comes in and he says, okay,
exactly,
you guys aren't going to let me go. You aren't going to sell me for X amount. He seems like the nicest, most stand-up guy. He's great. Everything I've seen on the pitch, it's amazing. It's great. When I've been out at training and watched, it's awesome. But any coach that wants to make a move, and you see what players do when they want to make a move.
Back injuries.
Lower
back injuries.
That's
shut
usually,
your mouth.
That's usually to get paid out at the end of the career, but hey.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Tip of the hat.
Man, like he could just be like out there fulfilling his job, but roll the ball out and be like, guys, play 11v11 today, man. What are we going to do tomorrow, coach? Play 11v11. Cool. What are we going to do the next day? Play 11v11.
Chick-fil-A.
Exactly. We're doing a team trip to McDonald's. Everyone gets a Happy Meal. So no, but it's a tough situation when a coach does want to leave. But I think the what this club is doing is it's creating interest in a lot of different facets, which is great. And I think he has done a great job of, we'll call it managing up, of saying, I need this to get what I want on the pitch because I want to play this way. This is the way I see the game, and this is the way I like it. And it's worked really well, and it is working really well. And he's brought in some, with the help of former, recruitment guy and obviously former general manager Tim Bears and obviously current ownership and everything to get the money, and he gets pieces that he wants. So I have so much respect for him because he wants to play away. The people in those roles above Tim, formerly Neil, Issa, Corey Ray, the different people around the club are out searching for what he wants and what is going to be successful for the way he plays. So he would be a massive loss if someone came in. But that's not saying another coach can't come in and do something different, similar, whatever. But that would be a massive loss too, because
from Issa's presser, it sounded like he was going to be making adjustments to be more in line with Nancy's coaching. Was kind of like it was kind of unsaid, but it was kind of what it seemed like was what he wanted to align the organization with some of the changes he made right away. But my worry is a little bit like that. Some people look like he could be like a Graham Potter or somebody like that goes to a club. It can really change a club that is like in the championship or who knows in the system, and really like Nancy can be the one that takes them of the finish line, right? That makes a little bit of a difference. They can take a Blackburn that is like been now in the championship for how many years, right? Just rotating to take them up to the Premier League again and be the difference maker. That's kind of like I'm thinking about somebody now is drooling over the prospect of taking in a coach like him.
Yeah.
I think it's the magic dust is, everyone sees magic dust, right? Like this guy's throwing magic dust. Bring him here.
But it's all the pieces.
It takes a family. It takes a squad. It takes so you've got to have a lot of good pieces together. Yeah, exactly.
The fans
right?
of this club has gotten together, galvanized bit too.
100%. Those hard games and you've got the fans on your back and the stadium's rocking and the Nordics, singing and
that New York City game from last year where we had a bunch of red cards and Nancy got one comes to mind. I know a guy in Chicago who's not a Columbus Crew fan who happened to be at that game. And when I told him I was a Crew fan, he was like, that was the best game I've ever seen, right? Mort, you said the same. You didn't speak for 2 weeks because
I started my favorite chant. You know what my favorite chant is, right?
Yeah. No, lay it on me.
No, let's
go ahead.
I want to hear. I would love to hear this. I'm leaving right now if you don't do this.
No, tip of the hat.
We had a thing here. We said, "What is your favorite chant?" And have you ever started one? And I said, "My favorite chant is." And I started it many times.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Can you bleep that out, please? You can't say that.
I'll make a really long bleep so it sounds like real bad. It's like, so what was his chant? Holy crap.
Duncan, I know, like, as a grown adult, like, who's cynical and everything else. Like,
did you just call me a grown adult?
No, me, myself.
Absolutely not.
I was going to say. I was going to say, sorry.
No, I would never say that. I respect my elders. But
the giant baby. Pretty tall.
I totally agree with what you're saying. It takes more than a coach. I will, however, say that living in an environment outside of Columbus where when you're talking to someone about the team, they don't know anything about the team. I cannot think of a time where I have talked about a team where one of the first things I talk about is the coach.
Yeah, that's true.
And I do. When I talk to people, like I ran into a guy, I was wearing a Crew thing, and he happened to be a Crew fan. and he said something like, "Oh yeah, Columbus Crew, yada yada, whatever." And I just started talking about the coach. And like I don't like I just like I can't think of another even sport where you would just like jump in and be like, you should see this coach they've got.
No, but wait, hold on. NFL, right? The coach runs every single play. No, but I agree with you. I think the coach is of the utmost importance. He is one of the most important people in the organization because in any organization, because an amazing coach can coach a turd and make it like be better than a turd.
Now you're talking about me, because I'll tell you, I said this at some point. I don't know if it was this season or last season, but like I said, when he's saying like, I don't care about the player, I care about the man. He is making me a better fan.
Dad. Yes.
Yeah.
A better dad. No.
Yeah. For real.
Yeah.
For real.
I need to listen to that
Duncan,
speech.
do you know Chris DeVille?
Yeah. I've come across Chris DeVille a few times.
Okay, yeah. So I used to play music with Chris DeVille. And
what did you play? The skin flute?
Yeah, get him! Yeah, can we have a custom sting just for when Duncan burns me?
Wait, hold on. In fairness to me, you asked me to like throw a few out there, so I'm just
yeah.
Bleep this part.
I love it. I love that. Yeah,
at band camp.
Yeah, but Chris comes on this show occasionally, and we do a segment called the Shootout, and he just like gives us trivia, and we do like crew trivia. But
wow,
you know him too?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Wait, can I ask you a question
small
first?
World.
Did he make T-shirts and his sister? No, that's a different.
Did he make T-shirts out of his sister?
No, and his sister. Him and his sister made T-shirts.
No. He didn't make T-shirts, but he was the writer for the Alive, and
yes,
he was. And he doesn't do that anymore, but he did do a deep dive on Nancy. We had him on here last time we talked to him. He had this Columbus Monthly profile on Nancy, and I don't know. It was awesome to hear from him, kind of like, what's going on in his mind, and I don't know. I'm bought in. So like as a crew fan, like I said, I don't know that there are many occasions I could think of where I would jump to like talking about the coach, but like when I meet a new crew fan, I'm not lying. I will, before anything else, I will text them the link to Chris's article, because I want people to know about, Impossible is an opinion. Yeah. We made these wristbands that say it.
I keep giving them away.
And I don't know. It's so like whatever's going on in the front office, we have to wait and see kind of like how that's going to ripple through the organization. But I don't know. Nancy's special, and I hope we can hang on to him. I hope that that the culture changes, or the leadership changes don't change the culture and keep him around for a long time.
I love that you push the coach, because he deserves it.
Yeah.
Tim deserves it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in this organization that deserve a lot. Neil deserved it. He moved on to LAFC.
Yeah.
Wilfred deserves it, and you should push him, because it's not always easy to manage egos.
Yeah.
And there are some egos on the crew. There's some interesting characters. There's different stuff. It's awesome. It's awesome what he's doing.
Every great club, every dynasty in big coaching and clubs, you talk about the coach. You talk
100% more.
You talk about Fergie,
You're right.
You're talking about and all the players that played for him.
Wenger.
Arsene Wenger. Yeah.
Yep.
Big Ange.
Even Klopp. I know you. I saw you wore a Liverpool jersey the other day. It's like giving you a reaching here.
Ben's a Tottenham fan. So.
Big Ange.
Yeah, he hates
a big
life.
one.
But my point is, like, anytime you have a club that does things right, the coach is the first thing you talk about. And right now for Columbus Crew is the coach.
Yeah.
You're right.
And Duncan, you said it, Issa being same kind of like from the same real hand in hand with Tim for the last however many years. Probably
from Toronto
from a philosophical standpoint,
that
we're not going to see it. Obviously,
Drastic
he's going
change,
to do things his way, but hopefully, the success that we've been seeing and all the reasons why we hate to see Tim go, we can be excited about Issa filling that role.
Look, I'm excited for Issa to see what he does, and he's going to be Tim 2.0, like I said, because he's been next to him and stuff like that. He's learned from him. He's seen him for so long. What other things does he bring that are him? And I just hope he gets some support beneath with a couple of new pieces potentially, because I believe right now that's what the club needs.
Have we fulfilled Neil's role in the recruitment?
It's a good question.
I don't think so.
That's a good question.
Because like the thing is, like as a fan, we always go, yeah, look what Bez brought us. But it wasn't like Bez doing the scouting, like doing the legwork. You know what I mean? So like,
I'm glad he's gone.
That's our thesis. Good.
No, we're not in this yet. No,
that's harsh.
Good Lord.
His dad's my dentist. And if you're in Westerville, his dad should be your dentist. Tim's dad is the best dentist in Westerville.
You know what? I've heard that a lot, and I haven't had the offer yet. And thank goodness I'm not from England, because otherwise I would have needed him years ago. But.
He would have given up. He would have been like, I'm not doing this one.
Yeah. Okay, so let's break here, and when we come back, we'll get the Crew 2 update from Bird, and then we'll jump into our New York City predictions for this win. Are they playing on a Friday?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
First Friday of the game of the year, I think.
Friday of the game of the year, New York City.
Friday of the game of the year.
We'll be right back.
Well, that's a good way to end this session.
Hey guys, Carlos here. Thanks for having me again to talk about the Crew 2. This is a very interesting week. As you all know, a lot happened in the Crew universe in this past week, and a lot of it we went back to the Crew 2 and how it works. But first, let's talk about the game on Thursday, which is a odd day to have a game. The Crew 2 faced the New York Civil Unrest, or the New York Revolution 2, at home at LDC, actually, if I remember correctly, and they won 3-1. It was a pretty good game, I thought. I thought that they, some other people in this podcast might think that they looked like they were gonna get their butts handed to them again, but I thought they played really well, and especially when it comes to making sure they connect those passes. Of course, Slapkis still had to make a few great shaves, but he's good for that. The game ended up 3-1. I think that the three key players that day were Jedinda, of course, since he had, for all intents and purposes, a brace. One of his second goal, our third, got called a own goal, but I think that his shot from outside of the box that hit the top bar and then hit the back of the goalie to go in, I count that as him. And he also had the assist, the goal by Chase Adams, which is my second highlight. It is so impressive how the 17-year-old can play, and I'm really happy. Anytime I see him in the lineup, I know we have a better chance of winning. And then another academy product, Owen Prestes, who had a couple other good plays. He did, I think he was the assist, at least for the first goal by Jedinda, and also for the second. He played awesome. He's going to Maryland next year. And I think, us Crew 2 fans think that he's going to be the Big Ten Player of the Year right away. He's that good. Well, but then I think that I want to take the rest of the time here to talk about this really cool AMA or, Q&A session that Corey Ray and Calvin Jones, the head coach and the former, now GM, did at Land Grant last week. I couldn't go because it's a school night and you take 18 hours for me to drive down there one way, which is hard. But we had Nick and other guys from the Discord Decade and the Capybrava go, and they had a couple good things to relate. We talk about the awkward timing because Corey was there and now he's not even part of the team anymore. But they were very cool, very open to all of the questions asked by the people there. They did a raffle with some lucky bastard that, of course, very happy for them, super happy for them, just incredibly happy that they won a signed team shirt. But good news on that front coming up. The first good news that Xavier Zange, who is a defender that a lot of us see a lot of potential in, but unfortunately has been really hurt this past couple seasons, is a couple weeks from returning. And then Corey and Kelvin also talked a little bit about what the structure and the future of Crew 2 is going to look in the future. Is going to look from now on. I think that might have waited a little bit on his exit, and you see why, I hope. And I think that kind of reflects, and it's an interesting thing for all Crew fans, even if they don't care about the cappies, to pay attention to, is that the organization is turning a lot more and their focus on developing talent from within. And we've seen that this year with the Crew 2. We have a very, very young team with a lot of guys like Chase Adams, Noah Breathes, really killing it, coming from the academy. And so that's why they didn't sign a lot of international signings this year like they did in the previous two. Because at first they had also to consider how many international slots the first team had, and which shows the connection between the two, that they're only trying to sign players or bring players that they really think have a chance of making that jump to the first squad. So the order now that they are prioritizing signing teams for the Crew 2 is first players from the academy who, that one club initiative that the style of play goes all the way from the wee lads to the first team. And then they would look for players playing at other US teams. We have a good number of those in our current squads. Then super draft players, guys like, Jaden Da, who is playing so well, and then international. So that's the priority that they're looking for players for the Crew 2 Academy, other US teams, super draft, and then international players. The other good news, or great news, I might say, is that they said that we are going to get merch. They finally cleared the legal hurdles, and they expect that we're going to have some small runs of merch next year, for everyone who is hoping to get a Crew 2 jersey like myself. That's great news. And it seems that they thought that the teams with the 2 on their name or on their or on their branding couldn't have merch because of some, bullshit legal reason. Sorry for my French. But then the Rapids too decided to sell their jerseys, and that opened it up for us. It set a precedent. And so, thank someone who lives in Colorado for that. Thank me if you must. But yeah, I'm excited about these. I'm excited for the future. The Crew 2 now will go down to Miami to face all of Messi's sons on a game next week. They currently sit at 7th spot on the table, which is a good spot. A few spots above the playoff line with 18 points. I think we might be, if I'm doing the math correctly, 2 or 3 points above the playoff line. Miami, just for comparison, is sitting at 9th with 17, just a point behind us. So it could be a must-win game, and I think that we can carry on the good momentum into that. All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks for giving me the extra time. I hope it was interesting to everyone. And yeah, go Crew.
All right, we're back. Thanks, Bird. Great win. I think a few of you guys, including the wise old owl of Columbus Crew history.
I've gone from a historic Duncan Oughton to a wise old owl.
The Egyptian pyramid of the Crew.
At least an owl will swoop down and sculpt someone.
Don't insult this man. He is the Sphinx.
Wait, the what?
With a nose.
Did you say Sphinx or Sphincter?
No.
Shout out, Matt.
So you guys were there. You saw this
beads of sweat.
It's a beautiful night
in living color. The Crew won. This Bird gave us the recap. So
yeah,
I think all we have left to do is our predictions. We're gonna have about a month or maybe 6 weeks worth of predictions left. We're still on the road till the end of the month.
Rest of the
before
year
we
at
go
this
into
point?
Leagues Cup. But it's we're kind of back to the like once a week kind of schedule until things start stacking up. So let's start with the tables.
Just tables! Tables! But tables! I can't know how to hear any more about tables!
In the East, we got Inter Miami in first place, 18 games played, 35 points. Cincinnati in second, 16 games played, 33 points.
Hold on. How many games did Miami play?
18.
49.
18 games. Okay, they're
No
halfway
other
through the
team
season.
in the
More
league
than
have
halfway through
18
the season.
games
Okay.
played.
Thanks,
Okay.
Don.
But they're in first place. So,
Of course they are.
Thanks,
NYC.
Don. Whoever said that.
NYCFC in third place, 29 points, 16 games played. The other New York team tied on points, 29 points in fourth place, 17 games played. Then we got the Crew down in seventh, 14 games played, 24 points.
20
Tied with
games in
Toronto
hand.
with 17 games played.
Yeah, we're just so far behind on games.
They have a lot of
Porter
games.
won again. Porter's going to have a job by the time we play him. That matchup is going to happen.
In June or in September?
Hard
in
to say.
September. Hard to
September.
say.
hard to say.
Yeah, he'll have a job in June. But
Job in June.
I hope he does well. Just not against.
I feel
not
bad
against us.
for him because there's some deep seated stuff in that club, right?
Yeah, that
Oh,
makes
yeah.
sense.
With everything going on there, and there's still
The
some
Bruce
people
Arena
from
thing and
that,
all those things were so weird.
Richie's
Oh, man.
still there, and there's a lot. I feel bad for him. I think hey, start winning, man. Go, Caleb.
Yeah,
He's been doing it.
Get it, bro.
Team's not
Yeah.
bad on paper. I'll stand by that. But, whew.
I think you have the issue that you have, what we talked about earlier, of owners investing in the team.
Oh, yeah, the cheese.
Robert Kraft.
I think they've done a little bit though. Recent years, they've started to do it.
They looked really good before
Yes.
Arena Gate. Weren't they like second in the East?
No, they
into
were.
the-
They were really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, with Turner, and they had
Dewan.
Talking about a manager, GM, coach that can get different stuff out of players. There's Bruce, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, he was good. That's
Want to
Well,
talk
whatever. I got
about
Porter.
how their teams are doing?
Yeah, let's go specifically New York City. They've kind of been on a run, right?
5
I
straight
think
wins.
they've won
right,
the
or more?
last out of 8 out of 9 games or something like
Wow.
Dang, that's what happens when you play on like a little league field.
Is
that.
it?
They're playing 9
We're gonna play. We're gonna play on a little league field. Though.
That is
Like,
correct.
so-
Yes,
We are. We are.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
Like
doesn't
the
matter.
T-ball.
Does it matter? Everyone will be healthy.
Yeah. So I'm interested. Okay,
When I was
Everyone will
playing
be healthy.
professional
here we
soccer,
go. Here we go.
Everyone
Duncan.
will be healthy. They're back from the
allegedly.
Monty edit that
Yeah.
thing that they had. They're going to be pissed off because they're out of that. It's time to take those games that they have in hand and turn them into points and get back to where they will. They have a focus now. You know, obviously everyone understands why the focus where it was. And
Sure.
Yes.
it sucks that it didn't come to fruition. It really sucks. And it sucks that there was some ice or something that caused an issue for people's bowels.
Queso.
And
Poisoning.
queso.
Poison.
Back to queso. 20 pounds in a week. It should be an advert. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'll buy
It's Ozempic. It's the best Ozempic. Yeah.
I never see it on my Instagram.
I will buy a jar right now. But
Yeah. Ozempic is Mexican for Mexican ice. Or
exactly.
Spanish for Mexican ice.
like
So
a jar of
you
your
go-
finest queso.
Mexican Spanglish for
Well,
us.
Duncan, I'm interested to
you go.
hear.
You
like,
go to
so,
New York
uh,
and you are fired up. You've just come
Yeah.
off something that, I hope they come and they go to New York on that trip and they show where they're going to move forward to and what's going to happen and stuff. For me, I hope it's a 3-1 result. I hope it's
We'll
a
get
good
to that.
win. I know, sorry.
So-
Oh man, I just blew my load early. Shock. just ask my message.
We trash talk. We trash talk Yankee Stadium.
You've got three
because it's small. Duncan, as a player, does it matter if the field is tiny?
Ask his wife.
Does size matter?
It depends what you're trying to spit out.
The floor is yours.
I mean, it looks crazy. Like the field, there's this guy, DeBronco, who's been going to different games, and he shot it, because we always see it just on TV, but he shot it from the stands, and it looks bananas. Like it absolutely should not have a soccer game being played.
It's like when you try to crop a photo and also rotate it, and it's getting smaller and smaller because you're trying to fit a square into a baseball diamond.
You know what's funny thing? There was like a video recently posted because of course they have an MLB game in London Stadium. It was today. Philly versus somebody.
I'm sure it was sold out.
And they showed the change of the stadium from soccer stadium to baseball stadium, and people said that we call that a reverse NYFC.
NYCF.
That's funny.
Yeah, NYCFC. But
I mean, look. At the end of the day, it's the field you have to play on, and the guys are ready for it, and the crew move the ball quick. Does it help their transition? It's a tighter field, so maybe it's easier to press and
50 feet of altitude.
It's and no Mexican ice.
But New York ice is also mostly rats.
It's pretty sketchy.
Oops, all rats.
I've been to a couple of games there, and look, it's this is weird to say. It's awesome to play in a historic place. Stadium, right? That's cool. Historic.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Miles loves the word historic, so I'll throw it out.
I mean, you played in the historic stadium.
Yeah. Everyone old plays at historic places like dinosaurs and stuff that.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna nitpick here, the historic Yankee Stadium was demolished when they built the new Yankee Stadium 5 years ago.
Well, I'll tell you what.
God,
historic Crew Stadium is actually amazing now.
All that the facility's insane.
So you could call me futuristic.
Yeah.
You could change the icon,
but we could.
You could change the icon you've given me from historic to futuristic. Duncan Oughton futuristic.
Yeah. All right.
No,
I'll do it right now.
Home of the Nordic Cup final.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So look,
okay, go ahead, Morgan.
You understand where you're going. You go to that place. The atmosphere for the home team isn't as good because of where the seats are and the situation in the stadium and stuff. It's a way better home advantage to play at lower than it is to play there.
Sure.
And I know, and I really hope we get a Crew team that's rebounding from literally the shit that they've just been through.
Yeah.
And they're showing. They're going to show they're going to show the rest of the league what the end of the season's about. And I think for me a 3-1 Crew victory would be what I'd love to see. Realistically, is it a 2-1, a 1-0, maybe a 1-1 tie? Probably, but I'm shooting for a 3-1 Crew victory, so I'm going with that.
Love it.
And the reason being is
Diego Rossi.
It's a new crew now. It's a new crew now. It's a different team. The focus is it has to be different. Yeah, it has to be. And Wilfred, the squad, they have to focus differently now. It's a ball ache what happened. Hopefully there's not a hangover from that. And that's my biggest hope.
Yeah. Oh, you're pumping me up, man.
I'm ready.
You're absolutely right. We've been talking about noise all season. Why is he doing this? Why is this the starting lineup? Is he managing this? Is he managing that? We're not in the front office.
We go with Crew 2 and get a draw at Real Salt Lake.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we don't know what's going on, but now at least there's less noise, right? And we can we can
All right,
just
let's do it.
And on a player level, that does
hold
affect
on.
you, right?
Before
100%. You're thinking about different things.
I always wonder
your
where they're
focus
at.
is. I mean, you can go to the World Club Championships. Where's your focus going to be? We won the league last year. We've never been to the World Club Championships.
Right.
Your focus is entirely different. And now your focus is centered back. There's a hangover period for that. I just hope this week off cleared up the hangover period and the poo stains.
It's kind of a coincidence, right? Like that we had this international break after that game.
I don't think it was an international break because they still played yesterday.
No, it was
that's just MLS going against the.
Okay, MLS going against Graham. The only
Matt,
thing
you're 100% right, Matt. They always do that.
Yeah, they don't ever fulfill the international breaks.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
We're America.
Phil Neville had some words about that, I think.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of that.
All right, we'll cut all that because that goes against what I said. But really quick,
there he is again. God,
more before we do our predictions, will you refresh what our predictions table looks like? Let's go ahead and give Duncan a 10-point bolus. What's the right word?
Grace.
Yeah, let's give Duncan 10 points.
What does bolus mean?
I'm sorry, I'm diabetic.
What do you call him?
Type 1 though, that's the best. Number 1.
I am number 1, diabetic. More refresh the predictions table.
Yeah,
and because I'm in charge of this whole thing, give Duncan 10 points. And and refresh that, and then we'll do our predictions. For
fair play. So as you know, we didn't have a game last week, so nothing has changed. In the lead is Morton with 11 points. Ben,
hold on. I'd like to stop you there. Give Duncan 12 points and start over.
In the lead of this prediction table is Duncan with 12 points.
Right, thank you.
Followed by myself.
I like Mars.
With 11 points.
You're in second? That sucks.
Yeah, Ben has 10 points. Trey has 9. Mars have 8. And Haas is equal with me with 11 points. Don't ask me why he's last.
But you can ask me, and it's because he came in last season. And so because of that, we always list his score last, even though he is technically tied for first.
We're pretty good friends.
Yeah.
So
I do like the friendship.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So with that, let's jump to our predictions. All right. Let's talk about D's next
I don't know. I thought
you got to think about that.
I'm already sweating.
Man, I don't even know. Like,
buckle up, Buttercup.
My tongue is sweating.
I'm not good at doing things.
You're dumb.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Here we go. So let's start with Ben. I'm surprised that, given that today, as we're recording, it's June 9th, that there was no commentary about that from Ben. Just leave it at that.
Oh, wow.
Ben's that guy, huh?
Yes, he is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Talk about 10 years celibate.
Kids,
okay.
No.
You should see where I'm podcasting from.
It's actually, you can't actually access his office there, if you would call it that.
We don't call it that.
We call it a den
studio.
I call it a
There it is. There it is.
To get into
studio?
Oz, that was
it's where I prepare my meats.
I cannot overstate how well that was described. You can't get into his studio without going through a
hidden
filing cabinet closet.
Secret
door. It's like a hidden door.
It's a secret door.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. So, Ben, you said from your den, 1-2 crew. That's pretty statistically
okay.
probable outcome.
Wait, hold on.
What do you have to say about that?
Okay, so we play by the European rules because Morton threw a fit.
Because we're away and
except for Mars.
Yeah.
Mars.
Except for Mars. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Well, we got Duncan.
So you have to name the away.
1-3 crew. God, sorry, Morton.
You
Genius.
As someone who is from Old Zealand, You
How about you just say someone from
historic
New
Zealand.
Duncan,
Someone
I did
from New
it
Zealand that's
once.
really old.
I did it. I did it
I like
once.
historic Zealand.
All right.
I did it once the
Easy.
wrong way, and I got to hear this forever.
No, hold on. No.
Morton,
No.
why do you hang out with these dudes?
Listen to me.
They keep me young. They keep me young.
He's
You
in
don't
my
know.
basement.
Keep me young.
Duncan, you don't know. Mort was the one who put this rule in place. We were all 100% Tom
first.
Petty, like Bruce Springsteen.
Everything goes.
God bless America. crew score first, 3-1, as you said. And then Mort was the one who came out here and nitpicked the whole way we were doing the score thing. So now we all have to do it his way.
Fair play.
Very European.
It is.
All right.
Because when you list, we do list the scores like that. Like,
Okay. All right.
They say the team, like,
No,
New
but
York
Duncan,
City 1,
Duncan,
Columbus Crew 3.
I told you.
Yeah.
I told you I'm with you. And so that's why when we get to my prediction, I put the Crew score first. All right. So Ben said
That's not what
1-2 Crew. Anything to say about that, Ben?
No, I had a 2-1 loss until I heard Duncan.
I will
was coming
punch
on.
you
I was
in
like,
the
I can't. That's what I'm worried about. That's what I was saying. We were talking earlier about.
I will find your little
Smart weather fan, buddy.
I will find your little rub out room, and I will. I
Come
will
on
hurt
in.
you.
I don't think at this point. I don't think you can open the door. You can't open the door.
Actually,
Follow the sirens. Just follow the sirens.
Actually,
Okay.
I will pay. I will pay someone else to come into your rub out room and punch you.
Thank you.
Listen, I love where this is going, and I'm all for it. Okay. You tell them to come on in. Okay.
Mort, you said 1-4 Crew. You think we're gonna put up 4 against New
really
York
aggressive.
in New York?
That is
anything
aggressive.
to add to that?
Have we scored 4
Man,
this year?
if it's going to go that way, and we're really going to go do it, I just had to be one better than Duncan.
Did you?
Mate, it's not hard to be one better than me. The score doesn't predict that, but I mean,
Well,
just walk straight.
I mean, yeah.
Walk straight, and you're one better than me, mate.
You are the longest.
You're going to be the tired guy
tenured
at soccer
Crew
camp tomorrow.
player,
You know
right?
that, right?
Is that right?
Fella.
Is that right?
Oh, I'm not
You're
in
going to
week
be those
2.
parents.
Okay, Trey, you jumped on the Duncan bandwagon. 1-3 Crew.
Wait, Duncan predicted that?
You've been here the
yeah.
entire time.
I
He did.
don't
And
think
don't
so.
nitpick
I think I
him.
said
Don't-
1-3
He's our
Crew.
guest. He's our guest
whole time.
Don't do that.
Wow. All right, hey, Trey.
I literally, I'm not going to argue.
I'll copy
with
Trey.
this-
I'll copy
Yeah,
Trey.
exactly. I'm not going to argue with the smartest
If
person
I,
in the room.
if I have to copy
Why?
Trey, I'll copy
Why
Trey.
would I?
I'm betting with
Okay.
my heart,
All right.
though. You never bet with
So
your
why?
heart, Trey.
So why didn't?
That is
so
also
why didn't
true.
you say
I love
There's
4-1?
no money on this whatsoever.
Not
So
yet.
I don't-
for us.
Not with that
Right.
attitude.
Not for us.
I am
Not
one
for us.
of the other 4 people betted against us or for us in Mexico. I didn't because I was a genius.
I did not follow any of that.
That hurts.
Well,
I actually kind of want to jump in your whatever type of room
Yeah,
that is,
I
the
lost
soundproof room, and
96.
punch you in the.
three of us. Three
He's
of us
underneath
lost
the stairs, Harry
$96
Potter
last
style.
week.
Yeah, everybody else bet $100 for the crew to win.
Oh yeah, we did.
I only bet like
$96.
$20.
I
That's
bet.
right.
I bet $96.
We bet $96, which is the opposite of yesterday's
that.
date in Eastern Time Zone.
So I am betting
Ben knew
nothing that we're gonna win 1-3 crew.
Oh, 100%.
Okay, 1-3 Crew.
1-3 crew.
I like it.
Pause.
I like it.
Pause. You said
Trey.
1-1. Anything to add to that?
Nope.
Okay, good. Thank you for waiting before you said that. Duncan,
A pair of
you said-
testicles would have been good to add to that. Yeah, no.
He's got 1 and 1.
Seriously?
Yeah,
I mean,
we're a one goal team.
It's a
You've got to back the lads on this one.
the table.
Come on,
The
man.
table. I'm
He's-
going against the grain.
man.
Everyone
Look,
else is
look,
betting
Duncan,
on wins.
Duncan,
If
okay,
I
so
get
You
it
don't
Let-
get
wrong-
what you're
Listen,
trying to win
Duncan.
this competition, aren't you, Hoss?
So the competition
No.
is this:
He's
you
not.
don't want to lose,
Yeah.
because Haas lost last year, and the loser has to wear a really what is it? XL
5X.
It's a
Awesome
I
colored.
It's a 2 or 3 XL.
It's a
green
4 XL.
jersey-esque shirt
Austin-ish
that says like queso.
It
Something.
says "Live, Laugh, Queso."
Sprayo.
Austin Green.
And Austin
he wore
Green.
He wore it to
Crew.
opening game, Christmas
First home game, yeah.
at Crew Stadium.
Over my winter coat is how big it was.
So
It's so funny. And on the back is pre-court as a clown, and it just says snake. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah,
Anyway,
I guarantee
so
you
he's-
got more high fives than the players did.
yeah,
I just think people were confused.
yeah. Like what is this weirdo? What is this weirdo? Duncan,
Marshmallow.
you said in solidarity with Trey 1 to 3 Crew. Anything to add to that?
No, I mean, that's like, look, you just bet with your heart, right? And in this situation, after coming off what they've come off, I would love for that to happen.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
You know, I'm a little defensively, there's a certain way, I'm not going to bring it up on this podcast, that I think the Crew can easily concede goals, but I do think the Crew's scoring power is insane when they're on.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to be on. I think they're going to press. I think there's going to be a newfound, let's say, tip your hat for the league.
that's right.
There we go.
And let's go.
Yeah,
Let's
No,
start
we do.
rolling. Let's start rolling.
Yeah. Well, and the 3-1 against Chicago was epic and
So much
incredible.
fun.
So yeah, hopefully they can keep rolling. I said 2-1 Crew 6-9 baby. That's of course I'm talking about June 9th. So and also yes, as previously observed, the inverse of 96, the amount of money in dollars that most of us lost
Yeah.
in our bets on the CONCACAF Champions
I still
Cup
think we should have won that game.
final.
Let's not talk about that anymore.
Wait, let's see what the investigation brings
Yeah,
There's an investigation.
into the
Could-
ice.
Could we win our money?
Am I investigating?
When you're talking about $96, let's investigate.
When you see an investigation, I'm getting nervous. Who are you talking about here?
Do I hear sirens in
what
Western?
investigation?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, all right.
He's gone from below his basement to the cellar.
Yes. Yeah. So, okay, guys. So we will wait to see how this unfolds. Duncan, thank you so much.
Dude, thank you so
for
much.
hanging with us. This has been great.
Good
Do I have to
times,
say
fellas.
thank you so much?
I henceforth maybe
can
we
say
could
if
refer to
you
you
if you
as
want.
as the Gandalf. The Gandalf of Columbus Crew, the grand historic wizard.
You should have flown, you fools.
Just say
But-
the dude that died 400 years ago, bro. Like,
Yeah.
like old. Just say you're old as shit.
You
Rest
should
in
take
peace.
that
Rest
U.S. Open cup and throw it into a volcano.
Yeah.
The ring would be like
My precious.
Yeah, he was oddly,
So now
oddly fond of
You
the
can call
ring,
me
yes.
Gollum now. Change my name from Futuristic to Gollum.
No, we're
it's on brand with New Zealand.
I'm just trying desperately to be funny. It's just so appreciative of your time.
Yeah, man.
Joining us. Like seriously, I told you just as we're sitting here, like when we started watching soccer, Haz and I were roommates for a long time, and we like got together and were like playing FIFA at the same time that we were watching World Cup and the Crew and everything else. And like you were on this team. And it's just so awesome to hang with you and talk about the Crew with you.
Nah, guys, I appreciate you guys putting time into this, and you guys, every single one of you here, you take time out of your many daughters' lives. And, I well know, man. It's a busy time, and it's really cool. And to promote the game, to do something this awesome, much love.
Yeah. Therapy is expensive.
Yeah,
That's what I always say.
and
friends,
lucky
cheaper.
for us, there's never been we're riding this high, and the crew keep winning. So it's great to talk about it every week. So thanks for joining us. Come back anytime, and until we see the 3-1 victory against the crew, against the what do you call them? What do you call the cities?
City.
The Yankees?
Let's call them City.
Against the Yankees. Go crew.
Go.
Yeah, buddy.
Thanks everyone for joining the club. We hope you'll listen next week and every week, even in the off season, to celebrate or commiserate. We'll save you a seat. If you like this podcast, please give us 5 stars and subscribe. You can email us at upper90clubpod@gmail.com. That's upper90clubpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at upper90clubpod. Go crew.
Well, we had the windows open, and I can't have the window open because of all the sirens around
Because
here.
of all the crime.
You should hear it outside Mort's house right now.